As we know, the Star Trek Kelvin timeline movies are done. There will not be another one. There will be no fourth movie in that particular branch of the franchise. But Paramount is moving forward with a new Trek film. What's interesting is that it's not going to be a reboot of the original series cast, which I'm very happy about. I think that's a good thing. Because there's already been 2 reboots of the original series now. The Kelvin timeline films and Star Trek Strange New Worlds. The idea of Star Trek reboots has always bothered me. Star Trek is a chronology. It was a very carefully maintained mythology. From 1966 to 2005, the various writers, producers, and showrunners on all of the shows and films during that period maintained a single continuity for Star Trek. But 2009, that was all changed. The new Kelvin timeline films created a completely separate new continuity, and essentially Star Trek was being treated kind of like the superhero comic books, where reboots and reimaginings happen on a regular basis. So Star Trek is basically being treated like a comic book movie series. So it's nice to know that we're going to be getting something different. I just hope it's going to take place in the prime Star Trek universe. But we shall see. Let's take a look at this article from trekmovie.com. Paramount developing new take Star Trek film from Spider-Man Homecoming duo. It looks like Paramount has found that fresh idea for a new Star Trek movie they were looking for, possibly ushering the franchise back onto the big screen for the first time in almost a decade. The new management team running the studio has made good on promises to invest in franchises and attract new talent, looking to the creative pair behind films like Spider-Man Homecoming and Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves to deliver a new Star Trek movie. An original Star Trek movie. The big news was first reported by Deadline and then followed up by the other Hollywood trades, confirming the team of Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daley have beamed in to write, produce and direct a new original Star Trek film. According to Deadline, there are no plot details beyond saying Goldstein and Daley's film is a completely new take on the Star Trek universe and not connected to any previous or current television series, movie, or prior movie development projects. So, no connection to past Star Trek. I guess that answers my question that it won't be taking place in the prime timeline. So, are we talking about an entirely new timeline? Well, that sounds like a reboot to me. We may not see Kirk and Spock and McCoy and all the others, but where exactly is this going to take place? Is it a totally new cast? Is it taking place in a completely new timeline? Now, I have to say, Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daley's previous writing work has included The Horrible Bosses comedy movies, Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, The Flash, a Minecraft movie, and they have writing credits on the TV show Bones. And they also wrote the story for Spider-Man Homecoming, but I'm not seeing a lot of sci-fi on their resume. Superhero movies and fantasy, yes, but not a lot of sci-fi. Now, maybe they are huge Star Trek fans, and they've got this fantastic idea for a Trek movie that they've been sitting on for years. We shall see. Maybe it'll be great. I hope it is. I want it to be a great Star Trek film. Spider-Man Homecoming wasn't a great film. I liked it well enough. It's probably among the weaker of the Phase 3 films. It's not considered one of the stronger Spider-Man movies, but I do like it. The only other films of theirs that I've seen are the 2 Horrible Bosses movies and The Flash. And The Flash was not a good movie at all. But anyway, Bones was a good police procedural crime show. It was a good cop show, basically, and that was very popular for many years. So they definitely have the writing chops for good television there. Deadline noted that while they haven't been able to confirm it, sources also add it's likely that new characters will be featured in this new version. That would rule out another reboot of the original series or any other previous Star Trek series. Well, it could still be considered a reboot without taking place during a time period we already know. Like, it doesn't have to have characters we know in order to be a reboot. It can just be an entirely new interpretation of Star Trek. As to whether it's going to be some sort of origin story, whether it's a prequel, for example, don't know. So anyway, back to the article. It says, This report comes just 2 weeks after it was reported that Paramount was moving on from another attempt at a direct sequel to 2016's Star Trek Beyond, abandoning almost a decade of development hell to bring back the Kelvin Universe series led by Chris Pine's Captain Kirk. And I'm glad that we're not getting any more Kelvin timeline films. I mean, I'm glad it's not going to be another reboot of the original series cast, because I think that would have been quite tiresome at this point. So anyway, they're going forward with new characters in a new setting. There's no specifics there. Star Trek has lots of interesting time periods to explore. I would hope it's not another prequel. I would hope the film moves forward in time into the 25th century. But again, if this is taking place in a new Star Trek universe, in some sort of new alternate timeline, then it's not the Prime universe. And I got to be honest, if it's not the Prime universe, I'm not going to be too interested, because the Prime timeline was Star Trek to me. That was the original series, Next Gen, all the original series movies, DS9, Voyager, and Enterprise. And the Next Generation movies as well. That was the Prime timeline. I don't buy Star Trek Discovery or Strange New Worlds as Prime timeline. Star Trek Picard Season 3, I'll accept that because it was relatively good. But the rest just doesn't feel like canon to me, you know what I mean? So this film sounds like it's going to take place outside of the scope of pre-existing Star Trek canon. And I don't know how fans are going to react to that. So I don't think we need another new interpretation of Star Trek. I just think we need Star Trek. And Star Trek to me is the Prime timeline, and it is for most fans as well. I do wish these two writers well with their Star Trek film. I hope they go back and really study the franchise and see what worked and what didn't. And I think they'll find that recently there's been a lot more that hasn't worked for fans. But there you go. There's not much detail there. What do you guys think of this news about this new interpretation of Star Trek? I gotta say, I'm not really that optimistic. I have no reason to be optimistic. I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to sell me on the idea of a reinterpretation of the franchise or a reimagining of Star Trek. So there you go. Like I say, not much to go on, but from what little there is here, it's not sounding encouraging. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel, and remember to subscribe to my other channel, Computing Forever, which is linked below in the description box. Please share this video out there. Hit that like button. Take care, guys. I shall see you in the next one. Bye-bye.